Welcome to lesson number 9, and we are going to fix a few things up in this one. Clean up the party we had in the hour-long one where we messed around with shading and rendering in the last video. So let's start with shading while we mention it. So select all but the base metal material. It should be all grouped. Select all of them and just press the delete button. Expand lights if there's any option to expand lights, and delete any lights that's underneath lights. The bottom two you'll be able to delete. The topmost one, just expand it and delete whatever is inside of the environmental lighting node. Now it should look like a very simple, normal colored lighter, as we had no shaders in, as if we had no shaders in. This cage that you see here is an environmental dome. I'm going to select it and press delete as well. And underneath items, let's just go take a look-see if there's anything that that is part of a material group or a shader group. And this helipad afternoon, that was it's items that it laid down, and that was that one smart IBL environment that I used. I'm going to delete that bottle plastic. I'm going to delete that and that, because those are texture groups. This texture group I'm going to delete that as well. So now that's nice and clean. We are going to close these holes in these black bits. So press 2 to select edges, double click, press Z or Z and scale this guy in a bit so that we have that auto quad fill as small an area as possible. Because this is see-through, we need to fix it on the other side underneath as well, because otherwise we'll see this hole. Okay, just full quads from there. With no item selected, press U to unhide. The bottommost one, let's just see. When I click it and I hold Shift and press H, it removes all of the other items. With no item selected, U to unhide. Okay. I also think we might need to come in. No. No, it's alright. So now we've got that part. So let's do the this one. There's going to be a lot of tedious clicking. I'm not going to use any procedural auto shape method of getting to this. We're going to select all of the stuff that we need to select and go on from there. But it's not going to be too tedious, you'll see. So let's do this bit. Let's scroll in to more or less where character is and drop down a new mesh item. Under basic, select the cylinder tool, and from the angle that you want the pivot to run on, click and drag, and after you've done that, it won't be a shape yet. It will only be a planar surface. Ensure that those two values are the same. There will be two values that if you draw it out more or less a perfect circle, there will be two values in here that will be more or less the same, so that you don't have to figure out which one is X, Y, and Z. The two that's more or less the same, make them exactly the same. Now drag out and make a shape out of that. Let's start with very few segments, one, and sides we are going to do let's just do this. I'm just going to count more or less a quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17. Okay, 30 to a quarter. So 30 times 4, if it's a quarter, is 120. So I need to have these sides at 120. So I'm going to make that 120. Press shift, now we've created that item. So this is all exact one mesh item, but if you look at the lighter, the thumb thread area is a very mattish aluminium, and this bit is blackened flint. So we're not going to do one contiguous mesh item. We are going to do two of these aluminium grip surfaces, which is about half a millimeter to 2/3 of a millimeter thick, and then receded is a lighter version of what's in here. Right, so let's just do one side of this ring thing. Okay, I'm going to delete these faces that have as like hundreds of vertices forming it. Looking from the top, I'm pressing W. My translate gizmo is not coming up again. Center bounding box, the center. Let's take this over to the already built model and just drag it in more or less and drop everything, select all of these vertices and scale or translate in so that we have more or less the thickness of one of those wheels. Press 5 so that we can move this item back to where it belongs. Shift A to easily zoom into it and take it more or less where it needs to be. Press 2 and double click. First select the item. Press 2, double click that edge loop, double click that edge loop, press Z, click, and R to scale in. So if you do this, it's going to pinch it into towards the inside. Just ensure that when you look at it from exactly the front, from the orthographical view, that it's like level towards those other ones. This because of that quick way that we use the scale that happens. I'm happy with the thickness of this, so I'm pressing I've still got those edges selected. With those edges selected, I'm going to bridge them. Easy, do like that. Now we need to quickly add lines here to keep this thing sharp at the bottom, except we're not going to do any changes on the this. We're not going to cut anything through there because we're going to use this to form the geometry for those little spiky things that makes the thumb traction roller. So add loop and add a nice tight one there, and a shift to continue there, and there. That's a bit. And on the inside as well. I'm selecting this edge loop, and with the translate gizmo, I'm going to make that edge a little bit sharper. Like that. So let's just see if we round this guy up. So we've got nice and sharp edges and corners. Alright, so now we select one of them, select the next one in the loop and press L so that we have that loop selected. Underneath polygon, bevel, and then group polygons. Check that off. Now you click on any one of them and you scale them in a bit and you push them all out. And scale them all in, push them back a little bit. Yeah, like so. No. Press Shift and just Control Z to undo that, because we're going to leave lines at the bottom, which is going to be much more difficult to do one for one if those polygons are not grouped together anymore. So to bevel, you can also just press Shift B and then click on come on, Shift, you hold Shift, you hold B, and then you click on them. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, with this process, I am going to leave the minute geometry that's needed to tighten up those small little things. So I beveled it, I've scaled it a little bit out and a little bit in, just a little bit. Drop the tool, bevel again, and once again I'm pushing it just a little bit out and scaling it just a very little bit in, and dropping the tool, and now I'm going to bevel and bring it up quite a bit, like something that, let's say, not that far, something like that, and I'm going to scale it in. And now I'm going to continue that again, bevel, and just a little bit out, just a little bit in, Shift to drop the tool, and again bevel, stick it, a little bit, and a little bit. Now we've got some of the detailed geometry for that thing, but it rounds, it smooths weird because we need to add lines in here as well. So let's get started. That shouldn't take too long. Add loop, and all around the thing, add a tight one there and another one there. And the same there and there. Now we've got a shape like that. Okay, from the top, click on that guy, right click on it, duplicate, move the other one, no, come on, I didn't duplicate properly. I'm somewhere going to, if I say sommer, and you don't understand, you're from a different nation, sommer means, it's a very, very, very unique word to have, and it's available in Afrikaans, and it means just for shit's sake, or I'm going to do something just for whatever reason, no reason, and it's a very handy reason, a very handy word. So duplicate, duplicate. Now we've got those two parts. In the next lesson, we'll be doing the flint bit that goes on the inside. But first, we're going to move this to more or less where it needs to be. So select both of them and just drag them in more or less where those other guys are. Where our lights is, this thing is going to be a little bit bigger. Okay. Stage number 10 coming soon.